Hi friends, I am here to read another children's picture book for you. This book is called Brick by Brick. It is written by Charles R. Smith Jr. and illustrated by Floyd Cooper. I picked this book today, I think because I really think that sometimes it's easier to talk about hard topics when we can read it in a book and look at beautiful pictures. One of the things that this book does is to remind us that there have been people that have been through very hard things in the past that have really, one of the things that we can do to honor the people who have come before us is to remember them and remember their names. We can say their name to honor them. And this book does that as it talks about the people who built the White House. Do you know where the White House is? The White House is where the president lives while he's president. So let's read this and look at the pictures together. I will read a page and then turn the pictures around so that you can see them. Even the very first pictures are so beautiful. Under a hazy, hot summer sun, many hands work together as one. The president of a new country needs a new home, so many hands work together as one. Look, here's a picture, and here's a man who looks like he's probably George Washington, right? And he was our very first president, and he needed a place to live. Black hands, white hands, free hands, slave hands. Slave hands dig, saw, and break stone, laying the foundation for the president's home. Rented as property, slave hands labor as diggers of stone, sawyers, and bricklayers. Diggers swing axes to break up stone, laying the foundation for the president's home. Jerry, Jess, Charles, Lynn, Dick, Bill, Harry, Jim. Look at those beautiful pictures of the people who helped to build the White House. Slave hands swing axes 12 hours a day, but slave owners take slave hands' pay. Slave hands sweat under a bright sun. Slave hands toil until each day is done. Chiseling, carving, and transporting stone. Slave hands ache, dark skin to white bone. Slave hands blister under a bright, hazy sun. Slave hands toil until each day is done. They worked sun up to sundown. Sawyer saw blades through logs of oak wood. 7 days a week for a forest once stood. Alec, Ben, William, Moses, Simon, Peter, Frank, Thomas. Up, down, push, pull, 2 men per pit saw, spraying sawdust until slave hands are raw. Slave hands saw 12 hours a day, but slave owners take slave hands' pay. Slave hands bleed under a hot, hazy sun. Slave hands toil until each day is done. Clay, sand, and water is mixed by young slave hands to create bricks. Nameless, faceless, daughters and sons build brick by brick until each day is done. It took a lot of work to make the bricks and to build the walls that would become the White House. Oyster shells mixed with rock, lime, and sand become mortar for bricks spread by slave hands. Will, Nace, Gerard, Manuel, Liverpool, Lester, Herbert, Samuel. Slave hands spread mortar 12 hours a day, but slave owners take slave hands' pay. Slave hands crack under a hot, hazy sun. Slave hands toil until each day is done. Slave hands learn new trade skills using chisels, saws, hammers, and drills. Skilled hands earn 1 shilling per day, reaching slave hands closer to freedom with pay. Brick by brick, slave hands build. Day by day, slave hands gain skill. Month by month, slave hands toil, planting seeds of freedom in fertile soil. Freedom has a price in a land of liberty, so slave hands toil to no longer be property. Brick by brick, where a forest once stood, grows the president's home, made of stone and oak wood. Slave hands build and slave hands save, shillings to be free and no longer a slave. Slave hands count shillings with worn fingertips and purchase freedom earned brick by brick. This book also includes a page called Why Were Slaves Used to Build the White House? And it has a couple of resources at the back. I think it's so cool to be able to use books to learn about things that have happened in the past and also to talk about things that are sometimes a little bit hard to talk about. We think about that now and we know that that is just so terrible. This book is called Brick by Brick. You can't leave comments because this video is made for kids, but if you go to one of my other videos, you are welcome to leave a comment about what you thought about this story. Bye-bye.